This artist is Kelechi Nwaneri. He is from Nigeria in West Africa. He is a contemporary artist. That means he is still alive and creating artworks today. He is a mixed media artist. He uses pencil, charcoal, paint, and other mediums to create one picture. He is inspired by the people, landscapes, and culture of West Africa. Do you notice the kente cloth patterns in his paintings? Do you notice the adinkra symbols in his paintings? The people in his paintings have adinkra symbols on their skin and clothing. These symbols represent parts of that person's identity. The marks on the skin might look like tattoos to you. In West Africa, there is a tradition that people receive scars on their face and body in order to honor the person when they reach a certain milestone in their life, such as becoming an adult. Sometimes the scars signify who belongs to which tribe. Sometimes scars are used to heal sickness. These scars might look scary to us, but they're not meant to be harmful to the person. In his paintings, Kelechi Nwaneri shows people's identity through the symbols on their skin. He is telling the story of the person by drawing words and symbols on their body. What words, symbols, or pictures would you draw to tell your story? Today, I'm asking you to draw a portrait of yourself and then use some symbols, and you can also use words or other pictures to tell your story. So, the story of you. This will be a portrait that is also about your identity. Identity means who you are. To start our portrait, we're going to have our paper the tall way, and we're going to make our face the main part of the picture. I'm going to start with the shape of the head or the face, like a basic U shape. And I'm going to leave the top empty because then I can add my hair so I don't have to erase the line later. And then I'm going to add the neck and shoulders. If you make your picture a little bit smaller than mine, you can include the rest of your shirt, and then you can have a little bit more space to add patterns. Or you can make yours larger and your face is the main part of your picture. After the shoulders, I'm going to add what my clothing would look like. So my shirt collar would be here, and then I'll also add my ears. So 2 U shapes on either side of the head. And I'm trying to make them about the same size. So I'm pretending to draw a line straight across from the first one I drew. After the ears, you can add your facial features. So those are things like eyes, nose, eyebrows, mouth, and you can make these however you like to make those details. Try your best to make your eyes and eyebrows and ears about the same size so your portrait looks very natural. If you need to erase or go over lines again, you can. I have a couple of other things here that I will be drawing with later. The artists we're inspired by, Kelechi Nwaneri, is a mixed media artist, so he uses several different art media in the same picture. If you have several different art media in your house, like maybe you have colored pencils and markers, or maybe you have paint, you can use all of those things in your picture today if you want to. However you know how to make your face or faces of people, you can do it how you are comfortable with on your picture, or you can be inspired by what I've done and copy some of the ways that I do things. I left the top of the head empty on purpose so I can add what my hair looks like, and then I don't have to erase the line up top. So I know that on my own hair, some of it goes a little bit in front of my forehead, so I'm not going to have a completely rounded forehead. So I'm going to make a V shape or an upside down V, and then add the top of my hair. And you can create your hair however you want to. If you have a favorite hairstyle, you can add that here. My hair is usually very straight, but I sometimes like to curl it, so I'm going to make my hair a little bit curly, a little bit wavy in my picture today. So you can add your own favorite style of clothing or hair in your portrait. And your hairstyle can be shown using different types of lines. So if you have curly hair, use curly lines. If you have straight hair, use straight lines, or wavy hair, you can use several wavy lines. And similar to the lion picture that we drew last week, if you add lots of lines in the hair, it will make your hair a little bit more voluminous, a little bit bigger, and a little bit more realistic. In the next part, I'm going to start adding some patterns. Kelechi Nwaneri used kente cloth patterns in two parts. He used it in the background of his pictures, and he also used it on the clothing of his portraits. So you can add kente cloth patterns if that's what you're interested in, or you could add patterns of any other type of clothing or some other kind of pattern that you really like. I really like patterns that have lots of flowers. You might notice that I talk about liking flowers often, or you might see that I'm wearing patterns of flowers on my clothes a lot. So I'm going to incorporate that in the shirt that I'm wearing on here. And then in the background, I'm going to add some patterns also. In the background of my portrait, I'm drawing a landscape. In Kelechi Nwaneri's pictures, he has his figures in front of a landscape. The landscapes look like they could be real and also imaginary at the same time. I drew mountains and a field of flowers and some clouds in the sky. The flowers are a repeating pattern because it's the same flower repeated over and over and over again. I will be adding a pattern to the mountains, but that pattern will be an imaginary pattern. It's not something that you would see in real life. I'm coloring in the sky with some colors that show a sunrise because that's my favorite time of day. So the landscape that is behind your figure can be a place that you've been to or a place that would make you happy to visit. So think of the places that you've been to or places that you want to go and draw a landscape that looks like one of those places. If you get to this point and you really like how your picture looks without any marks on the face, you can stop here. You do not have to add anything else to your picture. However, if you want to add some of the symbols of your identity on your portrait, you can. I'm drawing some symbols and some patterns that you might see in tattoos or you might see on some designs, some drawings and pictures of portraits. These are some options that you could include, or you can add your own. I'm writing name, age, where you're from, what you like, and what you do because those are things that are part of your identity. So think about who you are, what is important to your identity, what's important to who you are, to how others can understand you, and what they should know about you. You do not have to tell anybody what the symbols mean to you. You can keep them private if you want to.
When you are done with your drawing, show it to class and you can get credit right away in class. If you're watching this after class or you weren't able to attend class on Monday and you create this on your own, please take a picture of your drawing by going to the class assignment and then click on the assignment here. It says to take a photo by going to Insert, Image, and Camera. So Insert is this button here. Go one down to Image, and then go to the right and all the way down to Camera. That opens up the camera on your computer. You can take a picture. Make sure the picture is really big so I can see all of your hard work. Click on the camera button here, and then you can click Insert, and that puts the picture right on there, and you can make it larger. When you're done, click Turn In.